Welcome to A Haunting in the Hall, a scary stories program for kids in grades 4 and up. Today's story comes from the New England Rependium, a guide to macabre and ghostly sights by J.W. Hawker. And it's called The Grave of Mercy Brown, Exeter, Rhode Island. Some people get nicknames, some people get titles, but a lucky few on this planet actually get subtitles. Pithy descriptions of the most notable part of their lives tacked on to the end of their names. For instance, Lon Chaney is the man of 1,000 faces, and Helen of Troy is the face that launched 1,000 ships. The name of the subject of this entry, Mercy Brown, is almost always followed by the phrase, the last New England vampire. Mercy Lena Brown, a 19-year-old resident of Exeter, Rhode Island, received her subtitle posthumously in the year 1892. The case of Mercy Brown was the last known instance in Rhode Island and probably the rest of the United States of a large group of otherwise sensible folk exhuming, mutilating, immolating, and cannibalizing a corpse to cure the dreaded scourge of vampirism. Today, we know Mercy's condition is tuberculosis because we are on much more friendly terms with it. You see, for a few centuries in our history, this nation and its previous evolutionary forms wanted to be medieval Europe. We ran ourselves frothy ferreting out witches, staking vampires, busting ghosts, and pretty much setting the stage for the American horror genre. This happened all over New England, but tiny Rhode Island seems to have featured a disproportionate number of cases of tubercular vampires. Sarah Tillinghast, Ruth Ellen Rose, Abigail Staples, Nancy Young, all young women with macabre little postscripts on their lives. You can actually still visit some of the graves in the historical cemeteries of the state. None are as famous as Mercy Brown, though, due to the media documentation and the fact that she is the most recent. In her particular story, a farmer named George Brown had a problem. His family was dropping like dead people around him. First his wife Mary, then his daughter Mary, then his daughter Mercy. Nothing worked to stop this series of deaths, and as usual, when the landish doesn't work, you turn to the outlandish. When his son Edwin verged on death himself with the same symptoms, George and the villagers grabbed their pitchforks and torches and went on a monster hunt. All right, well, nothing that dramatic. Still, there was talk. And with a whole family succumbing to a mysterious blood-coughing illness that could, for all they knew, be contagious and or transmitted by fangs in the neck, something had to be done. After exhuming the bodies of the two Marys and finding nothing but bones, they turned to Mercy's body. Here, the accounts diverge a bit. Some say she was exhumed from the ground. Others say that because she died in the month of January, a corpse planting would have been out of season due to the frozen ground, and she would have been kept in a nearby crypt until the thaw. Either way, the body was accessed. Now, not everybody thought Mercy was a vampire, but when people saw her body, it was supposedly in a physical condition and position not assumed by the long dead, not even in winter. As a result, they thought it wouldn't hurt to treat her like a vampire, just in case. In this case, just in case, meant that the villagers cut out Mercy's heart, burned it, and then had Edwin, the ailing son, drink the ashes. The attempted cure didn't work. He still died, although he was the last in the family to do so. Not ever, but from TB. And the blandly named Brown family didn't seem to be cursed anymore. Mercy's grave exists to this day in Chestnut Hill Cemetery, a small graveyard behind an unassuming Baptist church off 10 Rod Road, just a couple of miles from I-95. A path goes directly through the center of the cemetery, about halfway down which, and on the left, is the Brown family plot, beneath an evergreen tree. Mercy's grave is reinforced with a metal band connected to a post embedded in the ground to protect it from being stolen. You don't need McGruff the crime dog to tell you, people will steal vampire headstones. Directly across from the cemetery from the Brown plot is a small triangular stone building that looks like a tool shed, but is referred to as a crypt by everyone who walks and talks about these types of topics. It was in that building that those who say her body wasn't buried say her body was stored until the ground stopped being unshovelable tundra. The structure doesn't look over 100 years old, but then again, nothing in the cemetery really does. Not even its vampire.